Welcome to Yo Back. A bike beat the Honda Super Cub has always been the latter. Since its launch in 1958, it has carried students to school, workers to factories, shopkeepers to market stalls, and explorers to corners of the world they never thought they'd reach. It is the single most produced motor vehicle in history, with over 100 million units sold worldwide. To own a Cub is to own a slice of living history. And yet here we are, in 2026, watching Honda take that history and give it a new face, a new voice, and a new name, the Super Cub Challenger. The Challenger is more than just a continuation, it's a reimagining. Where the original Cub was small, approachable, and almost delicate in its friendliness, the Challenger adds grit and determination. It's as if the Cub has grown up, rolled up its sleeves, and walked into the modern city ready to take on anything. You can see it in the stance, chunkier tires, a bolder headlight, and a beefier front fork that signal confidence. You can feel it in the matte finishes, the purposeful detailing, the sense of toughness that wraps itself around the classic frame. But at its core, it is still unmistakably a Cub. That familiar step-through design remains, making it accessible to every kind of rider. Whether you're a seasoned motorcyclist or someone throwing a leg over for the first time, the Challenger retains that unique Honda welcome. It is approachable without being ordinary, stylish without being intimidating. Performance is where the story continues to surprise. No, it's not a race machine, but that's not the point. The Challenger, with its expected 125 to 160 cubic centimeters engine, is tuned for exactly the kind of riding most of us do every single day. It thrives in the stop-and-go rhythm of city traffic, where responsiveness and agility matter more than horsepower numbers. It gives you smooth acceleration, predictable handling, and a level of fuel economy that makes you smile every time you skip a visit to the gas station. In a world where many commuters spend more time idling than moving, the Challenger is a reminder that practicality can still be fun. Fuel efficiency is almost part of the Cub's DNA. Riders from Bangkok to Barcelona, from Lagos to Los Angeles, have relied on the Cub because it stretches every drop of fuel further than almost anything else. The Challenger carries that legacy forward. Early estimates suggest riders will still enjoy triple-digit miles per gallon, and that means real freedom. Freedom to explore without worrying about fuel costs. Freedom to make this bike not just a commuter, but a daily companion. Handling is where Honda's refinement shines. The Cub has always been lightweight, but the Challenger feels sturdier thanks to its revised suspension and chunkier tires. You get the best of both worlds, a bike you can flick around traffic like a scooter, but with the stability and confidence of a motorcycle that's built to last. It doesn't feel flimsy or fragile, it feels planted, secure, and surprisingly assertive in corners. That's where the name Challenger starts to make sense. It's not about raw aggression, it's about being ready for whatever the road throws your way. Now imagine yourself riding it. Early morning, the sun just rising. You thumb the starter, the small engine hums awake, and you ease into the street. The city is still half asleep, but your bike feels alive beneath you. The lightweight makes it easy to maneuver around parked cars, and when you open the throttle just a little more, the Challenger glides ahead smoothly. Later, you park it outside a cafe. People walking by glance twice. They recognize the Cub's silhouette, but this one looks sharper, more daring. Someone even asks if it's a custom build. That's the magic of the Challenger, it sparks conversations. And that's before we even talk about the design details. The two-tone fenders that suggest both elegance and aggression. The seat that's slim but comfortable, stitched with precision. The frame that leaves just enough open space to show off the bike's mechanical honesty. The LED lights that brighten your path and mark your presence in traffic. And of course, the small, practical touches, mounting points for racks, sturdy foot pegs, protective details that remind you this is a bike built to be used, not just admired. Competitors may try to offer alternatives. Yamaha, Suzuki, and several European manufacturers all have small-displacement city bikes. Some are faster, some are cheaper, some are more radical in styling. But none carry the weight of the Cub name. None have been woven into the fabric of culture the way the Cub has. Think of the Cub in Vietnam, where entire families ride them together. Think of the Cub in Japan, where it became a symbol of practicality and reliability. Think of the Cub in Africa, where it has served as both transport and livelihood. Or in the West, where it has become a retro icon. The Challenger doesn't just compete in a market, it stands alone, carrying 68 years of legacy with it. Pricing, as always, is critical. With the Super Cub C125 still hovering around $3,900, it's fair to predict the Challenger will come in just above that, likely between $4,200 and $4,500. That means it remains within reach of younger riders, commuters, and those who want an affordable second bike. Compare that to what people are spending on high-end electric scooters or even bicycles these days, and suddenly the Challenger feels like incredible value. You're not just getting transport, you're getting history, design, and the Honda name. The Challenger isn't just a bike, it's a lifestyle tool. For students, it's an affordable, stylish way to get to class without relying on crowded buses. For professionals, it's the perfect commuter that avoids traffic jams and expensive parking fees. For retirees, it's a way to relive the joy of their first Cub, but with modern comforts like LED lighting and improved suspension. For creators, it's a content goldmine. Every angle, every line of the bike begs to be photographed, filmed, and shared. And here's something worth thinking about. In a world racing toward electrification, the Super Cub Challenger might just be one of the last great evolutions of the petrol-powered small bike. That makes it not only relevant but collectible. Honda knows this, and that's why they've designed it with such care. It has to stand tall both as a machine of today and as a piece of tomorrow's history. When you park it after a ride, the experience lingers. The matte paint catches the fading light, the engine ticks as it cools, and you feel the kind of satisfaction that only comes from riding something with real soul. It's small, yes, but it doesn't feel insignificant. It feels complete. And that's what the 2026 Honda Super Cub Challenger is all about. It's not here to dominate highways or win races. It's here to remind us that motorcycling can be simple, joyful, stylish, and smart. It's here to challenge the idea that commuting has to be boring. It's here to challenge the way we look at small bikes. It's here to challenge us to see that history isn't just behind us, it's riding right alongside us, still alive, still evolving, still very much in motion. So as we wait for the official specs and dealer arrivals, one thing is already clear: Honda hasn't just built another bike. They've built another chapter in a story that's been inspiring riders for nearly 70 years. And if the past is anything to go by, the Super Cub Challenger won't just be a hit, it will be another piece of history rolling off the assembly line and onto the streets of the world. That's our full exploration of the 2026 Honda Super Cub Challenger. Make sure you subscribe to BikeBeat, hit the notification bell, and ride with us into the next chapter, because once we get our hands on this machine, we'll bring you real-world impressions, sound tests, customization ideas, and maybe even a few surprises along the way. Until then, stay safe, ride free, and remember, heritage isn't something you look at in a museum. It's something you ride every day.